What is going on here? Guys, look at this. Did you guys see that? No? Let's see it again. Look at that. No honor, no pride, just gonna throw it and run. I'll even play it in slow motion for you. Somebody in the comment section, let me know what that is. You know something? Whenever I see bad behavior like this, what we saw in this video clip, and even in person, it just makes me think that these young whippersnappers sometimes just need a firm hand. Or, well, when I was growing up, they got a firm piece of leather. Supposed to do the, there we go. Now, I understand that gone are the days where somebody could just get an old-fashioned butt whooping. However, I do believe that sometimes it's justified. And I don't see it being the same as somebody being abused. Sometimes people just need a firm hand. They need to be disciplined. I know before I was growing up, kids were just getting the paddle left and right. And when I was a kid, if we did something wrong and our neighbor caught it, he was allowed to whoop us. And then we'd get home and we'd get a secondary whooping. But look, we got to talk about this situation with these kids on these cruise ships because, in my opinion, it's getting out of hand. So I recently had an anonymous subscriber of mine reach out to me via email explaining to me that they recently sailed on board the Carnival Dream from July 2nd until July 10th. And they explained that when it came to the kids on board, they were acting kind of crazy, and honestly, nobody was stopping them either. You had kids that were doing things like pressing all the buttons on the elevator just before running out the last possible second, prank calling people at all times during the day and the evening time, messing with elderly people, so on and so forth, and even going as extreme to throw things off of the ship. Now, I don't know why any kid would think that's okay. However, they are kids and these things are going to happen. But I always say that when it comes to kids on board cruise ships, parents, a cruise ship is not a place to just dump off your kids so you can go have a margarita at the lounge or wherever it is that you're going to be at. It doesn't make sense for you to just leave the kid because anything can happen to them. Not only could they be acting up, however, you got to think that they are on board with other humans. And I'll be honest, whether we're on land or on a cruise ship, there are some very strange characters out there that you should definitely watch out for. Now, my anonymous subscriber said that they hadn't cruised for a while, and since they have cruised, they feel like things have maybe ramped up a little bit with the bad behavior of the children on board. And being on plenty of ships this year alone, I could say that kind of makes sense because, I mean, one thing I talk about with this pandemic is that you have a lot of people that have lost social skills and they just don't know how to act in public. Kids were also affected. You got to remember, schools were shut down for quite a while. So you got a lot of kids that maybe have all this energy that they need to release. They haven't been doing it in public school. So then they get on the ship with a bunch of other kids and preteens. And next thing you know, it's a giant, wild, preteen kid-like party, which is never good. Never good in the sense that eons ago, I was once a kid, and technically I still feel like a kid. I always say that every adult is a child pretending to be an adult, and I still feel that same way, and I will die with that thought process. But anyway, what I'm saying is when it comes to these kids, naturally, you'll have some kids that are bad, and then you have some that are kind of like the good, bad kids. They'll cause some mischief every now and then. I think of my son all the time. He used to be this little adorable ball of, it was amazing. He was the cutest kid ever. I remember my favorite picture of him was when he was wearing this Harlem Globetrotters uniform back when I used to work for the Harlem Globetrotters. And now he's all grown up, and he's still good today. However, I still wonder, when is he going to start being bad? Is it his teens? He's 11 now. He'll be 12 in October. When is he going to start changing and being mad at me for no reason and causing all kinds of trouble? Hopefully that never happens. I remember a couple cruises in particular where there were a bunch of rowdy kids running around at about 3 a.m., which were the Carnival Mardi Gras for the inaugural sailing, and earlier this year in March, the largest cruise ship in the world, Wonder of the Seas. During that sailing, there were a bunch of teens that were kind of cool at first, and they had some very mean things to say about me. Do you remember those kids when we were on Wonder?
No, not really. What do you mean?
When we were on Wonder of the Seas. Oh, by the way, sorry, I'm being really rude. Lauren, say hey to everybody.
Hey, everybody.
By the way, guys, I'm in France right now. So anyway, Lauren, there were a bunch of kids when we were on Wonder and we were at Sorrento's. And look, so the kids were excited to meet me because we were dancing. I did the sexiest man competition. But the minute they found out I did YouTube, they laughed and said I was too old to do it. And then after that, yeah, you remember?
You're not.
Well, I don't know. I'm getting up there. The hair is starting to turn gray.
That's what I mean. Like, you're probably old to be on YouTube.
No, I'm not too old. No, I'm not. But anyway, look, so I ran into these kids. They seemed nice, but there were about 15 of them. And they ended up leaving after that and going to play hide and seek and jumping on the stairs, jumping on the car that was sitting on the ship. I forgot what car that was there, but it just got wild. It was out of hand.
What you're saying is that you got bullied by a bunch of 15-year-old kids?
Yeah. Some 15-year-old kids bullied me. That's why they must be stopped. Now, I do know we'd all like to believe that our children are these angelic-like creatures that could never do anything wrong. However, I've been on, I don't want to say about 6 cruises this year, and I've seen a lot. Now, don't get me wrong, I love kids. They're fun to be around, they tell the truth. However, when it comes to nighttime on cruise ships, at least for me, that's the time where it should be just for the adults. No kids should be running around. For Carnival, Royal Caribbean, all the cruise lines out there, whatever curfew you set, I think for Carnival and Royal, for example, it's like 11 or midnight. Why don't you make sure that the parents adhere to those rules? Because kids are still running around at 3 a.m. If that's the case, why make a curfew at all? It just doesn't make sense to me. I can understand why a lot of people are starting to look at Virgin as an option, given they got a lot of things to fix. However, those new kids commercial things that they're putting out are really funny. But anyway, guys, I just wanted to put this information out there because I felt like it was a legitimate conversation that needed to be had amongst all of us as adults. How do you feel about kids on cruise ships as of right now? Do you think they're getting a little bit more rowdy than usual? Do you think the rules need to be a little bit more stricter on board cruise lines when it comes to curfew for kids? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm gonna get ready to get out of here. I'm taking Lauren to dinner. We're actually going over to Italy. We are 5 miles away from the border. So yeah, just know that I have some other videos coming up pretty soon too, guys, as early as tomorrow. I have other videos coming up on my other channel, Jay the Nomad, with me traveling all over the place. I've been to 4 countries in the past week. So yeah, guys, make sure you go subscribe to that one as well. I'll leave it in the description box below, and I will also pin it in the comment section. I love all of you. Hit that like button on your way out. Thank you so much for watching, guys. See you later, and take it easy.